I am so excited for today's interview with my client, Michele Roseman. Michele, hello and welcome.
Hello, Althea. Welcome to you and to my world. And just thank you so much for having me to talk, to share.
Oh, I'm so grateful. So tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and who you help.
Sure. My name is Michele Roseman, as Althea stated. I am a 3-time author, and I'm also a life coach, but specifically, I help Christ-centered C-suite and executive level women who have been striving to have work-life balance, but it seems like that time management is always getting in the way. That's the one thing that keeps you up at night. That's what I really help people get solutions for, and just really bring some peace in those areas of their lives.
I love it. So helping women create the time, find the time, create the time, have more time
Yes.
in their life. So where were you in your business? What was your business like before deciding to work with me?
It's funny, as you were asking the question, even though it was short, the Lord was giving me an illustration of a flat line on a screen of, that line and that noise, that drone where nothing is happening and there are no signs or vestiges of anything positive going on. That's where I was when the Lord intersected Althea and me. And at the time, I knew that I had a call to be an entrepreneur. I knew there were certain things that I wanted to do and some things I hadn't quite tapped into. So when Althea found me, it was as if the Lord used her to resuscitate the business and some of the dreams, and to help me mine and to dig into some of the deeper places in myself and find out specifically what God wanted me to do and how to move in a life-giving trajectory.
Wow. I mean, the imagery is still sticking with me, that, right.
Yeah.
And you were resuscitated. I love it. So what are some of the results that you achieved by working with me?
I would say that there were several results. And in working with Althea, I was able to gain the insight and clarity to understand mistakes I had made in the past, how to course correct, and where I needed to move in the future.
But what made you say yes to God through enrolling in my program?
Great question again, Althea. It was really actually after studying your platform from afar. I was looking, you know how sometimes we are looking for something and we don't even know we need it? And so I knew I needed a coach, but what really stood out to me with Althea was the fact that she was very unabashedly Christ-centered. So when I read rather that she was Christ-centered, the light bulb went on and then there were flutters inside. I began to really get excited because the thought dawned on me, could it be possible to actually get the assistance I need and then also have someone marry that corporate experience with a Christ-centered focus? So the fact that you were wholeheartedly and are wholeheartedly sold out rather for the Lord, and you put that front and center along with showcasing your business acumen, that was a done deal.
Wow. I love it. I love, 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 love it. So I know one of the things that was where you got the most vision or clarity. Yeah. So I love that. Like the depth, the length was around your ideal client. So paint the picture for us. Where were you before in terms of clarity of your ideal client before working with me? And where are you now?
Sure. Before meeting with Althea, I just felt like I was called to serve everyone. And if you're going to use a biblical analogy, it's just like making fishers of people. And, it's just everyone. It's just a catch-all. And one of the things that Althea helped me to understand is that there are different levels, there are different layers, and people are multifaceted. And just as we look at the landscape of our world and God has created so many different people, likewise, when I'm marketing, I had to specifically understand the folks to whom I am called to serve. And so since working with Althea, I've gone from, I would just say, sort of gray, black, and white to those people, to understanding with relative pinpoint clarity that, you know, the gender, the demographics, the psychographics. So I'm now able to understand, again, it goes back to what I said earlier, vision, being able to see who I'm specifically called to serve and understand why. And I will also say, after having worked with Althea, I not only understood who my ideal client was, but I could see over the years how the Lord had been telling me that, but I was sort of missing it. So now I know who I am supposed to serve through the journey that I've gone through with Althea.
I love that. So it's, you know, in gaining the clarity of who you're called to serve, who God called you to serve, you could look back and see and connect the dots.
There's a phrase that I coined a number of years ago, and it simply states that there is no serendipity, there's only divinity. So those chance meetings that we think we have, as you wonderfully said, Althea, they're not by chance. Our steps are ordered. And so after having worked with you, seeing God connect the dots, it fleshes out that scripture that our steps indeed are ordered. So yes.
Wow. And so now knowing, with, you said, almost pinpoint clarity, who your ideal client is, the one that you're called to serve, what has that given you that you didn't have before working with me? What has that given you in your business that you didn't have before?
It has given me a level of confidence. It's also given me a thicker skin. And let me explain the thicker skin. When someone says no now, I understand it's not necessarily because there is lack in my life or there's the absence of something positive with me. It simply means that person is not in my set of clients in many cases. I would say it's also helped me to become more excited, because it helps me to understand I can achieve because I'm moving in the right direction. And I have more understanding of why things happen the way they do, and also how to move in a smarter, more strategic way.
Talk about that. Talk about knowing how to, and I really appreciate that in working with me, not only did you receive something for now and the future, but it's explaining the past, right? And I feel just a need to pause here, because many of us, including myself, or I really could say all of us, you know, our business journey is like this.
Oh yeah.
Right?
In some cases.
And so, right, and something like this, right? And it's when you are able to have a perspective of, oh, why this did not work out, it takes off I guess it takes off the shame and the guilt and the regret. You know, I guess talk a little bit about that. I'm saying that for myself.
Oh, definitely for me. And I'm not going to act as if I have completely overcome, but I've definitely made strides that I can see. But I have been riddled with shame and guilt, particularly around the area of being an entrepreneur, because I had so many missteps. And it's really challenging when we have missteps, and on one hand, rather, and then we still know that God has said we're supposed to do it. So it's like, okay, where did I miss it? And so it's great when you can have that perspective and understand, again, that there's nothing intrinsically wrong with me. God was trying to show me what needed to take place, and the struggle was needed so that I could, that we can move forward and be and do all that he would have us to do and become.
Yeah. And I love that, because it's once you get that understanding and that vision, that clarity of what caused the missteps, or where what you experienced did not line up with what God promised you, a weight is lifted, right?
It really is. It really is, because that shame, and we can become mired down in shame and guilt. And then that attracts so many other things, many negative mindsets and what have you. And so there's no way, when I was in that situation, in that mindset, I wouldn't even think to go look. I wouldn't even go after them, because who am I? You know, who am I to go after them? But understanding now and continuing to build on the confidence after different instances, I'm not afraid to go after them now. I'm not saying I never have fear, but I've come a long way by God's grace, and with Althea's help, come a long way.
You really have. You really have. And I love that. It's your growth and progress was rapid speed without, this is what I experienced, without this overwhelm. Things happen quickly for you in working with me. And so you talked about now having smart strategies. I mean, I've quoted you correctly to move forward as a result of having clarity of your ideal client. So tell us a little bit about what having that now gives your business that you didn't have before you worked with me.
I would say before working with you, Althea, I thought I had a strategy, and that's not to belittle what I thought, but my strategy or my idea was it was cookie cutter, one size fit all. But now, after having worked with you and after really understanding or beginning to more fully understand the needs of my client, when I create tools, my proposals, my plans are tailored to them. So that's where strategy is. So strategy is, it is not one size fits all. It's the difference between getting something off of the rack at a particular store and then having it tailored with the silk and satin lining. That's the difference. And so now, if I understand, as an example, that my clients are short on time, I'm going to make sure that every course I create, not only am I teaching about it, but even as they're beginning to execute the lessons in the time, that technology is used to really cut down on the time. So that type of strategic thinking had to take place in me first. It came forth after working with you, and then I am able to pass it on to my clients as well.
Yeah. So, and I love that, because you really are pinpointing in the clarity that you gained from who your ideal client is not only helping you in how you market, but you're really able to design offers that address their challenges, are able for them to adapt and achieve results. So it's like every detail is now can be taken into account because of that clarity.
Yeah.
And oftentimes I'm just like pointing at that people miss that,
Yes.
That the clarity of ideal client is not just, I know the messaging to use to connect them and I know where to find them, but it's in every aspect of your business so that you're really serving them.
I so agree, and I want to underscore this a theme that you've shared since we've been together for this session, or this time rather. That clarity is key, and it has to start inside before it's able to be emanated on the outside. And what was coming to mind when you were speaking, oftentimes I was not able to be strategic, and I wasn't necessarily able to serve the client because I was really too busy serving myself. And when we're mired in shame and guilt, even though we may want to serve someone, we really can't, because we're still nursing our own wounds to the degree that we can't go beyond that. And so as I've worked with you and I see I've gotten more free, I've been able to say, okay, Michele, you're battling with these things inwardly, but you can let those go. And that turning my head aside from myself, then I can clearly see, oh, this is what this other person needs. And I don't feel like I have to get it all for myself. I've got to take care of myself. God's going to take care of that. And as I'm moving, then I'm free to serve someone else, not just what I want, but I'm able to serve them what they need.
Wow. Talk about deliverance. Talk about deliverance. So what did you find most valuable from working with me? What was, where was the greatest value that you received?
I'm pausing because there were so many valuable things. I I will say the emphasis on worship
Mm.
was really, really critical for me. That's something that you stressed in our supernatural day together. That's another one of your wonderful offerings. And on the onset, it's counterintuitive. I need strategies. I need a plan. I don't need to go worship. But when we're in his presence, that's when we get the clarity and the insight that we need, and we have to release to do that. So really keeping that in mind, that tool that you gave me to understand that the weapon of worship is really needed, and that's where the creativity is birthed. It's like it's first spiritual and then it's natural. And that, I'd have to say that's the bedrock of everything, because even if I'm working on a project now or I'm working on an article for LinkedIn and I find myself getting stumped, I'll often remember what you said, go worship. It's like, okay, let me put the pen down, let me put the laptop down, or let me stop making the offering right now. I'm feeling a little stressed, let me go worship. So that really has to be the best, I would say the greatest tool. Also, I will say one of the things that you have taught me is you've taught me how to be selfless by just watching you. It's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to live it. And so what ends up happening is that through my time with you, there are things that just by association I've learned without you saying a word. So there's some unmentionable, some unspoken things. So there's some character traits that I've learned that are invaluable that I believe will take me really far, coupled with very practical steps, how to get clients, how to create an offering, how to understand psychographics, demographics, and really nail down an area. So a lot of practical as well as spiritual and even emotional things as well. So everything was integrated when I met with you.
Yeah, and I love that. I'm so excited about, as Christ-centered female entrepreneurs, we're using our spiritual warfare, right, in our business.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, right? Like, really, God, this works in our business too?
I know. And it's funny because we say it, God's my CEO, or I'm going to him first. I'll speak for me. I wasn't really going to him, and I wasn't really relying on him and leaving the fear at the door to say, okay, if I take this time to worship, well, what about this plan? He'll make up the time, but just trusting and getting in there. So it's one thing to say it, but another thing to get in there and do it. And to your point, there are weapons that work. They work. Yeah.
Yeah, they work in our business, right?
Yes.
And you emphasize that, time spent with God is always time well spent, and he'll
Yes.
redeem
Yes.
the time, but it's the process of letting go and trusting him. This is phenomenal. I think we're going to ask one more question for
Sure.
those who may, and you've done a really good job, but just those who may be wondering, what's it really like to work with me?
Oh, it's great. This is going to sound very corny, but that's okay. It's like a warm hug, a warm, firm hug. You will, when you work with Althea, you will be affirmed. You will receive accountability, and you will also know what actions to take. So that's your AAA. Whenever a car is on the side of the road and they need that AAA right there, work with Althea and you will get back on the road, because again, of how she affirms you, she speaks life into you. But then if you need sort of a firm pat and kick to get going, she'll give you that too. But the accountability, which we crave, am I doing this right? I don't want to go down the road and spend X number of dollars and I, didn't get it right. She will give you that as well. So that's what it's like to work with you, to go back full circle to what I said, a warm, firm hug.
I love it. Warm, firm hug, because the firmness is there. Oh, this is so fantastic. So, Michele, for those who are C-level executive, Christ-centered women who are struggling with managing their time and experiencing balance in their life, where can they find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn. If you look up my profile simply with my name, Michele P. Roseman, and I'm there. I have articles where I talk about issues that really get at the heart of some of the things that we as female entrepreneurs, Christ-centered entrepreneurs deal with. You'll also see some podcasts where I was interviewed and I talk a little bit more about my journey, but that's definitely where you will find me on LinkedIn.
Awesome. So LinkedIn is where you will find Michele. And Michele, thank you so much for being here. This has blessed those who are watching. I know it.
I'm glad. Thank you for having me. Thank you for deciding to work with me and for having me to speak and showcase the great work you've done and you continuing to do.
Oh, God bless you.
God bless you.
Okay. Until next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Then click the TV to watch the next video. Don't forget to visit my website at thebestcareerforme.com to download your free report, How to Trust God More in Your Business. Until next time, God bless you.